What's up, everybody? Josh Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the debut album from the band Hatriot, entitled Heroes of Origin. This is released on Massacre Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Oakland, California, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very straight-up, old-school style of thrash metal. This is my first time hearing about this band, and upon the first time I had heard about this project was who was involved with this project, and most notably their frontman, the singer of this band, Steve Zetro Souza. If you're a thrash metal fan and you don't know who Steve Zetro Souza is, I honestly don't know what to tell you, other than to maybe give what listen to what some of the work that he's done in the past. I mean, he's done a lot of the late 80s stuff with Exodus. He showed up on their 2004 album Tempo of the Damned. He was involved in a band called Legacy, which would later go on to become Testament. He was pretty much part of that band's early beginnings and histories and all that stuff. And he's been in many, many other different bands and projects and vocal appearances and whatever. He's pretty much a thrash metal legend in my opinion. But yeah, on to Hatriot. This is a new project of his, and from what I understand, this is pretty much a family affair. He pretty much got his two sons to get involved in this project, Cody on the bass and Nick on the drums. So 3 of the 5 members of this band are pretty much father and son here, so I think that's pretty damn cool. But now we have their official first album entitled Heroes of Origin. It's 11 tracks, and it runs around 43 minutes in length. And once you listen to this album, you're pretty much going to have an idea of what to expect when you first put on the track Suicide Run. And then from that point on, you're already in a comfortable setting once you listen to this album. I honestly don't think this is stuff that's going to reinvent the wheel, so to speak, but you're going to get some very entertaining and some really solid thrash metal. Very entertaining if you're a fan of what Steve Zetro Souza has done in the past, or if you're into just straight up old school thrash metal, you'll enjoy Hatriot a lot. The guitars on this album really have a lot of the storytelling to do, because there is pretty much a set kind of pattern when it comes to the guitars. You're going to get a lot of really catchy, memorable riffs, some nice solid lead-ins, and you're going to get a bunch of solos. Pretty much every single song that's on this album has some kind of solo work. Whether it be just a single guitar by itself, or you just have 2 guitars doing pretty much layered soloing. You're going to hear a lot of that throughout this record. I don't know how the average listener would take hearing so many solos on this album, but there's solos all over the place, and for what you hear, it's really, really nice. It's pretty good stuff. I dig it. The same can be said for the bass guitar. The bass guitar is pretty good. It's your usual kind of thrash-style bass. You hear the occasional solo lick every now and then. It's very good, very clear. It doesn't feel too dominant, but yet it stays right in with the mix. It's nicely done and nicely played. Drum-wise, this is just me, but I'm pretty sure Nick is channeling his inner Tom Hunting with his drum style, because you're going to get a lot of the usual kind of thrash-style drums, really nice drum rolls, some solid fills, good double bass pedaling, the way the snare and the tom sound. It's a really good, well-thought-out pattern drum performance. What you would normally expect from a thrash metal record, but yet it's delivered here in a very good, solid, and tasteful manner. I think the drums here are played very nicely. And now, the vocals. I honestly think this is my favorite part of this record, is the way Steve's vocals sound, because if you know his vocal style and you've heard the way that he sings and delivers his vocals, he delivers it in such an entertaining, maniacal kind of way, almost a distinct type of cackling. That's the kind of vocal style that Zetro has, and the way he words his vocals, the way he sings, the way he shouts and just makes his voice sound very evil, it's pretty cool. And he he pretty much proves why he's probably one of the best of his craft. His vocal style is really solid here. You can't knock him down with that. Um, but yeah, like I said, this is pretty much, and I don't really care to use this term too much, but this is pretty much run-of-the-mill thrash. But when I say that in the most respectful way possible. Because if you've listened to a lot of thrash metal, like let's say maybe Testament or Exodus, you'll pretty much find something to like about this album. You'll find something to enjoy about this release. I think it's solid. It's an entertaining listen, but we'll see what else 2013 has to offer in the way as far as thrash, whether it be traditional or any other kind of thrash. This is some pretty interesting stuff. Very, very good listen. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Weapons of Class Destruction, Bloodstained Wings, The Violent Times of My Dark Passenger, and Your Children to Be Damned, and the closing track, which is the title track. So, if you're a fan of anything that Steve Zetro Souza has done, or if you're into traditional thrash, you'll find something to enjoy with Hatriot and Heroes of Origin. It's a pretty good listen. Maybe it'll grow on me with time, but yet I still think it's fun to listen to. So, again, the album is Heroes of Origin by Hatriot. This is released on Massacre Records. Check it out if you're into thrash. And as far as the score is concerned, I'm going to give it a really strong 7.5 out of 10. This is some pretty good thrash, not reinventing the wheel or anything like that, but still, it's so much fun to listen to. This is pretty much thrash to listen to when you want to have a good time, have a fun time. So check out Hatriot. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.